Hey guys, welcome back to the Union Leipzig Career Mode series. Now, last episode we broke into the top half of the table, and it's clear to see why. We have 5 of our players who made the team of the week. We're building something special here. And one of the players who's no longer with us is Becker, the center back we had, and actually our captain at the start of the season, who transferred out in January and is apparently still struggling at his new club. So hopefully things turn around for him. But for us, the future's looking bright. Now, we had some young players break out into the team amidst an injury crisis, but now that some of these players are back, we're actually going to have some tough decisions to make. Julian Busch has been starting up top and has become our de facto striker, but Tobias Bergman, the striker who was leading us earlier in the season, is returning from injury. Now the question is, who's going to play there? And unfortunately, I think Tobias Bergman is going to have to remain on the bench. The way that Fofana and Julian Busch have been playing, we simply can't bench either of them right now. Now, Union have been in incredible form over the last couple weeks. We started the season as arguably the worst team in the league, and we've quickly risen up the ranks. Hopefully that can continue, and it looks to as Julian Busch is clean through on goal, but it's just wide, and that's the trade-off we get with not a natural striker like him. It's going to take some time for this young winger to learn how to be clinical in front of goal. But even though our players are slowly coming back from injury, it's a reminder we're only 1 or 2 moves away from having the same happen again. As Lucas Schultz, our talented young center back, goes down, we're again forced into a difficult substitution. We don't really have that kind of quality on the ball with our other center back options, so again making a bold call to put a left back, Wagner, in his place. Can Union Leipzig hold on amidst this string of injuries that's keeping us on our toes in terms of finding difficult solutions with a not very deep squad? But here we go on a potential counterattack as Brandt comes charging down the right-hand side. We have a couple of options in the middle. Simon Wolf picks up the ball. He's got options ahead of him, plays it through. Julian Busch, oh my God, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and again can't finish. It's all been there, the movement and the confidence to take it on, but that's twice now that we have potential goals that we just couldn't finish. And then a big mistake out of the back line here. That's definitely why we miss Lucas Schultz when he's not in the lineup. And this could spell trouble for Union Leipzig as we concede late in the game. And despite a solid overall performance, a couple things have let us down. Number one is the finishing up at the top of the pitch, but on the other end, that was just a huge mistake by our back line, and a reminder why Schultz is such an important player in playing out from the back. Well, we need a goal, and thankfully we do have a little bit of depth now on the bench as Tobias Bergman can come off, and let's try him and Busch up top together, see if we can find something late in the game. Overall, this competition should be healthy for a team that pretty much had a nailed-on starting 11 until just a few weeks ago. But now with Victor Sommer and Julian Busch starting in our starting 11, the players who were in their positions, Bergman and Richter, will be able to come off the bench and show that they can still fight for a spot in this team. As Wolf plays a ball over the top, Bergman heads it down. Not the best chance. And unfortunately, our substitutes couldn't influence the game enough as we finally suffered defeat after what was a great run of form. Now, hopefully that injury to Schultz won't be too serious, but it's the moment of truth. We're about to find out, and thankfully, he's just going to be out for 5 days. No more catastrophes in this team. He should be back for our next match, but I think last game was a warning sign of what's going to happen if we're missing players like him for an extended period of time, and that loss does bring us back into the bottom half of the table. So with 8 games remaining in the season, let's take a quick check-in with the Youth Academy to see how all the players are developing, and I think the standout player is still Cedric Makoko, but we have a couple other not that bad options. I don't think any of these players are necessarily ready for the first team yet, but one of the main goals of this team and this career overall really is to promote German youth and really focus on our academy. So we're going to start getting more and more familiar with these youth players as the career goes on and finding a pathway for them to make their way into the first team. But for now, it's back to league action, and Union Leipzig are going to go with the same lineup that's been working overall so far. So Union Leipzig go into this game looking to right the wrongs from last game and get back to winning ways the way we were for so many weeks before this, but Julian Busch fails to convert an early opportunity. And as Dortmund's second team really ramps up their attack, the hero of this game so far is actually our goalkeeper, Stefan Kraus, who's been an absolute rock for us all season long. And you know, despite all the overall defensive improvements we've had, I mean, he's been really at the center of it. I think if it wasn't for our goalkeeper, our defensive record would look significantly worse than the way it is right now. And honestly, the way he's been performing, I think we have no right to be keeping a clean sheet in games like this where Kraus comes up big again. We're talking not just 1 or 2 world-class saves, but like 4 or 5. I mean, we should easily be down in this game, but Stefan Kraus single-handedly keeps us in it. But we're not in this game just to skate by and try for a draw. We want to win. So again, I'm going to bring Tobias Bergman off the bench and see if we can't find a late goal here. Union Leipzig a little off the mark in this one, but some good build-up play as Bergman finds Bush, who finds himself out wide, twisting and turning on the ball. He's so clever with the ball at his feet. Julian Bush plays it in, little give and go here. Bergman finds the return, and Bush with the chance, it's saved again. Union Leipzig come away with a disappointing draw. Maybe not even that disappointing. It was probably a game we should have lost looking at the underlying stats. But a man-of-the-match performance from Stefan Kraus gets us a point. And you know, I'm going to make a bold decision here later in the season, and I'm actually going to put Tobias Bergman back in the starting 11. I feel like there's been a lot of pressure on Julian Bush. He's so young and playing out of position. I don't know, especially when we need points here late in the season to keep our form up. I think it's better to give some of our more experienced and natural strikers a chance, and I don't know, kind of have the flexibility to bring Bush off the bench and not immediately expect him to be a superstar for us. And the reality also is some competition in the team is healthy. Maybe it'll just kind of light a fire under him to be benched for a game or two in favor of another player, but Bergman gets his chance to make a case and misses the opportunity. Well, if he wants to make a case for consistently starting over Julian Bush, that wasn't exactly it. Well, our front line has been relatively quiet the past couple of game weeks. I don't know exactly what happened, but overall, we're still completely dominating these games. The possession style that we set out to have at the beginning of this season is very much a core part of the way we play, and you can just see the patience on the ball here as we shape some chances. Fofana flicks it back, and our central midfielder, Kouyaté, has a strike from distance, find its way into the back of the net. Probably the most defensive player we have outside our back three somehow finds a goal, and when players can contribute like that, it takes a lot of pressure off of our front line. But Union Leipzig continuing to pile on the pressure and look for a second here as Fofana finds Bergman, top of the box, shot saved by the goalkeeper. And Tobias Bergman not exactly returning to top form after coming back from the injury just yet. But it's not for a lack of effort. He's getting into good positions and definitely making some quality opportunities. It's honestly a blessing to have some options in this team as Fofana plays it through for Wolf, for Bergman, chance saved by the goalkeeper again. And Union Leipzig failed to find a second goal. That means our lead is still very narrow right now, and all it's going to take is one lapse in concentration. That could be it. Stefan Kraus, absolutely no right to keep that out of the back of the net. It's another incredible save from our goalkeeper, and somehow we still hang on. And we could have a chance of our own here as Simon Wolf goes charging down the field. He has an option ahead of him, and Fofana finds it now. Can he pick out another pass? Brandt making the overlapping run. Our right back makes the run all the way up, and Wolf, top of the box now, looks for Bergman, but just about cut out. Chance! Oh, and it's cleared away. Well, something is just not clicking in our front line right now. And unfortunately, it looks like a counterattack might be shaping up here against us as we look to defend it. Bouchard closing down, ball played through, that's a chance, right in front of goal. And unfortunately, Union Leipzig concede at a pivotal moment in this game, a game that we've largely been dominating. Suddenly, we're back on level terms. Well, the reality is we need a goal. We want to win in this case, but I don't know, I don't want to just straight up switch our front two and take off either Fofana or Bergman. They're having good chances. I'm going to do something a little more risky and put Bush as a left winger. Now, these tactics are not going to work out every game, but maybe if we have all three of our best attackers on the field, we can find a goal. Now, obviously, this carries some defensive risks of us maybe conceding a second, but sometimes you just gotta go for it. At this point in the season, we're just looking to win as many games as we can. Obviously, Bush can't really defend, so hopefully, giving the ball away there, it might come back to hurt us. Julian Bush, definitely a talented player, but relatively inexperienced, and that could prove to be a costly mistake there, going for the flare and giving the ball away as the ball makes its way into our box, and some nervy defending could result in a chance. We just about hang on there. It's devolving into chaos as we're panicking, trying to avoid a second goal being conceded here, and we just about deal with it though, as Noah Bouchard clears the ball away. Julian Bush now running on the overlap. Can he make up for that mistake right after he came on? It's Wolf charging downfield. He's got some options. Julian Bush cuts the ball inside, and he's looking to pick out the man ahead of him, gives the ball away again, but somehow keeps a hold of it. It's Summer playing the ball back in. Bush squaring up with his man, great footwork, and he's still going. Fofana, give and go. Bush, oh my God, it's absolutely incredible. Julian Bush off the bench and the hero on the night as he gets involved everywhere on the pitch here. The creativity and flair this guy has on the ball is second to none. And although he may be a little inexperienced at times, I think it's undeniable this isn't the kind of player we can have on the bench every week. The quality is just too much, and he can pull a goal out of nothing, as we just saw. So Union Leipzig get another win, and now we have some interesting things to think about with this squad. And the biggest thing top of mind right now is who's going to be our starting front two. We have Bergman, Fofana, and Bush, of which two can start at any given time. I think what we did last game playing Bush as a left winger isn't going to be viable defensively long term. So that's just an option we're going to save for if we're chasing goals. But I don't know, we just have a lot of good players emerging in the squad. Simon Wolf has actually been underlyingly incredible, maybe our best player overall. And thanks to some of these players, Union Leipzig are back fighting for a top half spot. We're in 10th place and actually not that far off of 3rd place. I said this earlier, but there's a world in which we could possibly qualify for promotion. I wouldn't count on it, but it is possible. So we're coming to the tail end of the season. What's going to happen for this first year of Union Leipzig as a professional club? Well, you're going to have to find out next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.